Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of One Horse Town. We'd like to extend a special thank you to our Patreon patrons. Carly Slater, Carol Simons, Catherine Smith, Hannah Ferguson, Catherine Carouse, Kevin Luca, Laura McCabe, Marcus Gorman, Marissa Coughlin, Misty Montaigne, Nicholas Cortman, Robert Poore, Roger Tang, Sam Rowe, Stephen McCandless, Steve Ash, Chris Exnell. We'd like to thank the Pike Place Market Creamery and PNTA for their support of our original production, as well as the amazing artists who have been a part of this process. Thank you, Jeb Brown, Ava Estrada Campos, Jessie Nguyen, Hannah Ferguson, Morgan Grody, Carlette Odemiga, Selena Sen, and Keegan Reedon for your artistry. Characters: Klaus, a fallen scientist and owner of the ranch and car wash, voiced by Megan K. Wright. Gertrude, a rancher with a past career as a sculptor. They're secretly a hopeless romantic, voiced by Amy Wang. Bobby, a rancher and lover of nature, purest person on the ranch, voiced by Izzy Schoenfeld. June, leader of the Runaways, full of secrets, voiced by Grace Carmack. Lane, a runaway with a deep love for poetry, intelligent and soft, voiced by Simone Dawson. Susan, a runaway from the city, hungriest person on the ranch, voiced by Marlena McHenry. Mr. Wilson, the last horse on earth, voiced by Morgan Grody. Narration, voiced by Emily Pike. That's me. Other characters include car wash patrons, soft pretzel, demon horse, ringmaster, sandwich eater, Morel siblings, radio interviewer, voiced by the ensemble. Chapter 1, Act 1, Scene 1. 7 o'clock in the morning. A fiery desert that goes on forever. The sky is smoggy, sun through thick clouds. A car wash. A small farmhouse. A mutated maple tree. Many dead chickens. Bobby and Gertrude are in hazmat suits, cleaning up their dead chicken bodies.
This is a lot more than yesterday. Pretty damn sad.
It's so quiet now.
Yep. No more clucking.
Must have been the last of them.
Just pick them up, will ya? There's not a lot of time.
We could have saved them. A few of them, at least. Could have kept them safe from radiation in a glass bubble or something. I read about glass bubbles somewhere. They're very effective.
No one wants to be put in a glass bubble. They were sick anyways and would have infected us. There's nothing we could do, Bobby.
But we have these suits and all this technology. We could have made glass
Enough
bubbles.
with the bubbles. What would you feed them, huh? Got any extra food on you?
No. I wish I did, though. I'm starving.
Me too.
What are you going to miss most about chickens?
Chicken nuggets.
That's disrespectful.
To who?
The chickens!
They're dead.
They're literally right here.
Yeah, but they're dead.
I'm talking about their ghosts, Gertrude. There's chicken ghosts all around us, and they'll haunt us at night if you keep being rude.
There's a shit ton of ghosts around us. Most of the world is turned into ghosts. I ain't afraid.
Klaus rushes in, also wearing a hazmat suit.
Oh, gross! These need to be out of here right now! Customers will be lining up as soon as we open, and we can't let them see this mess. Valuable if we're gonna take care of this.
It's a lot more than yesterday. I reckon something bad is happening.
Seems like it spread faster than usual. Must be getting more contagious.
Ugh. Hardly any animals are left, and now... Klaus, are we safe?
Of course we're safe. Listen, nothing's going to happen. Not while I'm looking after you both. Now, chipper faces, everyone. We need to open the place up. Bobby, get rid of these.
Bobby grabs the biohazard bin and takes the chicken carcasses to the pit.
So I've got some news.
Yeah?
Talked to a few customers after hours the other day. Those ones from Philly.
Oh, hear anything interesting? Been meaning to ask around for a new saw. Our old one is getting too dull, and I need to chop through some of that old hickory wood stand traded in last month.
No, nothing about a saw. But I heard something about coordinates.
Coordinates, huh? I'm clear.
Yeah, clear over here too. And, yeah, they're coordinates to the sanctuary. All of them were on their way over there. They said everyone's on their way from all over, and apparently it's incredible. There's running water and libraries.
Oh, well, I'm glad they're all doing okay over there. Portland?
San Francisco.
Of course.
So, should we try to make contact? Will you try sending a signal?
What do you want us to say?
I don't know. What do you think we should say?
Tell them this. Hello, San Francisco. We are a small group of ranchers here, keeping it together. Our ranch is dead for the most part, but our spirits are lively. We have nothing, including no interest in what you all are doing up there. P.S. Do any of you have a saw?
Oh, come on, Klaus. Don't you think we should go to the sanctuary? This could be our best shot at surviving. We can't just wait around to die out here.
Klaus walks over to their spit spot and cleans it.
I'm not going.
Why are you so stubborn?
I'm not leaving my ranch. This is home.
But there's food there.
We manage fine here.
Barely. And there are people there. We could have friends. Maybe more than friends.
We have people here too. You see customers every day. Make friends with them.
But like different kind of people. There are artists over there creating new things and preserving culture. I should be there with them.
Gertrude, you can go whenever you want. If art is calling you north, then by all means go. But I am not leaving this ranch.
Are you kidding me? There's no way I could just leave you all here. Besides, you hardly know how to work any of the machinery without me. Might as well just shut down the place if I left.
Bobby returns from the chicken dump.
Speaking of which, we're gonna be late if we don't start it up now.
The ranchers remove their hazmat suits to reveal colorful Western clothing, reminiscent of Dolly. Think pastel cowboy.
You both know the drill. Gertrude, help me out here. Oh, Bobby, will you make sure Mr. Wilson gets some breakfast?
Sure thing. Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson! It's time to eat breakfast. Come on out here, Mr. Wilson. Where are you, sir?
A beautiful horse trots to the ranchers from across the ranch.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson. You're real handsome, as always. Breakfast is served. Yeah, I'm afraid that's all there is today. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Hello, Mr. Wilson. How are you feeling today? Now, let's take a look at you. Don't want you catching anything now, do we? You're healthy as a horse. Okay, whatever.
Bobby, go ahead and turn it on. We're ready to go.
Got it.
Hello, folks. Good morning. Very nice looking group. Welcome to our Radiation Treatment Center. In this day and age, we are constantly worrying about contamination and radiation poisoning. Horrible stuff, and it's everywhere. Now, we know we can't stop it, but here in this facility, we believe in fighting it by keeping radiation levels low. With our state-of-the-art machinery, we are able to keep you and your belongings at a lower rate of contamination, which means more living! Yes, that's right! You should also know that this entire ranch is maintained to be low risk from radiation. How do we do that, Gertrude?
We pick up dead animals every day and throw them in a pit far away from here. Then, we sanitize our land with a specialized cleaner.
Finally, we finish by thoroughly checking for overexposed levels of radiation with our state-of-the-art scanners. If our devices come near levels of radiation over 40%, the alarm sounds and we get it out of here. So don't be shy, you're safe here. Come on over and take a stroll through our special car wash, modified especially for humans. That was just a tumbleweed, folks. Don't worry, come on, it's fun. You're all doing great, and payment is a sliding scale. We love food and we'll take literally anything. We could also use some... Whoa,
Please,
excuse me.
I need to be clean.
I'm very sorry, but you can't be here. You need to leave. Wait. Wait. Wait! I said wait! Our scanners say you're contaminated. I'm afraid we can't have you on this property.
Well, maybe we could make an exception.
Please, I need to be clean.
No, you need to leave and stop coughing around us before you get everyone here sick. I have a whole lot of people here who are trying to stay safe, and you're just going to make things worse, so I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do to help you.
Klaus rushes to clean the stranger's spit.
Sorry.
Everything's under control. Let's get back to having fun in the car wash. Bobby, buddy, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay?
I'm really hungry.
We'll eat soon, all right? Sit down for a few minutes.
Don't worry, we're almost done.
Gertrude helps Bobby walk back to the house.
Y'all are just the best. Tell your friends about us. Protect your loved ones. Protect yourself.
Act 1, Scene 2. Night falls. There is an odd, atmospheric glow.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Ah! No. Ah!
Act 1, Scene 3. Gertrude, Bobby, and Klaus gather around a makeshift table.
Woo! Dinner is almost ready.
Oh, thank God. I was so hungry today. Let's dig in.
Hold on, I need to get something.
No.
Hey, Bobby, I have something for you.
Gertrude reveals a large sculpture of a chicken.
It's so you don't have to worry about any chicken ghost giving you trouble at night. You'll always have your very own guardian chicken, and it won't let anyone hurt you.
I love it. Thank you, Gertrude. You make the best sculptures. Wish I could have seen the ones you talked about making before.
You would have loved them. I made a lot of animals.
All right, let's eat before the night winds start. I don't want sand in my dinner again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, high in zinc.
That's great. Could always use more zinc.
Is this most of what we have left in our supplies?
Yeah, it is. But, I have a surprise for both of you. A fella came by today and traded something pretty special for a wash.
What was it?
Klaus shows them an apple.
Oh my god!
What? How did they have that? I thought they were all gone.
Said he found it clenched in the arms of a dead man near Oklahoma. It's very sad he's dead. But look, isn't it great?
Can we eat it right now? Is it safe?
I checked it 3 times and ran it through the wash. Should be okay now.
That's amazing. I thought all of the plants were contaminated.
Maybe up north things are looking better.
It's beautiful. I haven't had one in so long. Almost forgot what they even looked like.
Shall we? Holy moly.
Oh God. It's a Honeycrisp. I can tell by the crunch. Listen.
Beautiful. Do it again.
We made apple pies here on the farm with Honeycrisps. That was a long time ago.
Oh, apple pies. I miss those so much.
I once won a baking contest with an apple pie.
Yeah? Baked it from scratch and everything?
The first one, yes. Got completely burnt in the oven. I had no time to bake a new pie, so I bought one at Costco and brought it to the judge's table. They couldn't even tell.
Idiots. I know a fresh homemade apple pie, but I also love Costco.
Costco was the best. Got 6 gallons of orange juice once.
Costco. Yeah. They had lots of dog food, too.
Klaus cleans up their spit seeds.
Did you go to Costco a lot back then?
Yeah, I did. I got dog food from there.
You owned a dog? What was your dog's name? Bobby, you can talk to us. Come on, you can tell us about your dog.
Gertrude.
I think it's better if I don't, if that's all right. I'll put Mr. Wilson to bed.
Good night, Bobby.
Sweet dreams.
Bobby heads back to the house. Mr. Wilson follows.
Why are you always doing that?
Doing what?
Forcing Bobby to open up about her past.
We hardly know anything about her, and it's been 2 years.
She just doesn't want to.
It's important for her to remember things like her dog.
No, it isn't. It just hurts, Gertrude. What's the point?
I like to remember who I was before all of this happened. I had a cute apartment in the city and normal things like book club, and I got letters in the mail. It's the little things I miss. I miss washer machines, and I miss cleaning my ears with Q-tips, and I miss spilling red wine on my comforter. Okay, I miss not being on a ranch. I'm sorry. I really appreciate everything you've done. It's just sometimes I find myself waiting for it to all go back to normal. Like I'm going to wake up and suddenly it's all okay. Electricity's back. Postal service is back.
Book club? You were one of those people?
Yeah, I tried to go every week. We were reading Moby Dick or something.
Wow. I miss red wine too.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Wow. I think we're back. What a wonderful first chapter. Wasn't that great? I can't tell if I'm being streamed or not. That was great. If you missed my introduction from before, my name is Hannah Ferguson, and I'm one of the co-artistic directors of Annex Theater. I was also originally intended to be the scenic and lighting designer on this project. No scenery or lighting to speak of, but a very beautiful play. Thank you to Chris for doing the animation of the words. Wonderful to make it a little bit more accessible. And now for a very special post-stream treat. We have a conversation with Josh Valdez, Max Irvine, and Chris Nill, the 3 sound engineers who contributed to this project. And Grace, who you met before, the director. All right, y'all. I suppose I'll start with a question. How did you do this thing? What was your process of taking a stage play to an audio drama?
Well, I guess since it turned to me, I'll start over here, I guess. I think it was interesting coming from a sound perspective, where, I was just doing the original music. I did all of the original music. And I had a great time working with Chris and Josh. And it was really interesting. I think my deadlines changed, certainly. I think is one of the big things for me. But it was really cool to kind of come together remotely with everybody. And I have never worked with Chris and Josh before, and they are absolutely wonderful and so good at what they do. And it was just like such a pleasure to have that feedback and everything. So I don't know. I'll start there, I guess.
Okay. Here we go. So, what was I saying before I found out that I wasn't saying anything? I basically... What happened is getting all of the dialogue was probably my biggest concern and challenge for this, which is nobody has... I'm fortunate enough to have an ISO booth that I built back here and stuff, but I'm also a professional audio engineer. And our performers don't. Some of them have voiceover experience, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a booth. So basically, we had to kind of come up with as standard of a way as possible for everybody to record their lines. So we just had everybody like follow the same rules and record on their iPhone. So everybody who has an iPhone, they've got the exact same microphone on it. And then we just do lots of noise reduction, and then Josh and Max's amazing soundscape underneath basically does a lot of work for me in terms of like masking the fact that people are recording stuff in their closets. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a challenge, but I'm really enjoying the process because working with Max and Josh is awesome. I love this piece. Super timely. Like the more as I go through and I'm hearing everything over and over again, it's like, ooh, wow, this was the right time for this show. In a spooky way almost.
Yeah, I would like to echo a lot of what Chris and Max have said about the whole process. It was a pretty fun process for me. So I remember like, when we had initial conversations about the whole play, just thinking about how this was going to be set up in like somewhat of an apocalyptic setting, I was like, oh, cool. That because stories like those are really really cool for me. I really think those are like really fun stories to kind of produce. And then like this whole thing happened, the whole pandemic, and I thought, wow, now this play is hitting really different as well. I haven't worked with Max before, but I learned so much from them, even from Chris, especially from just now working remotely. It was really cool and fun to have like our own little mixing sessions where we would see each other and we would give each other feedback, and even figuring out what kind of tools we used. It was really cool. The only difficulty now is just replacing the sounds that would technically be on stage. So like if someone's entrance was happening, if we heard someone yelling in the background, we had to make up for those. But also then realizing like if I put too much sound effects, would that be distracting? So that was also something that came up as a challenge. There's a question from Roger that I see. Were you guys able to round up actors and get them to work scenes together?
So, interestingly, it was weird because basically we were ready. This is to Roger's question. Originally, we were prepared to go into tech pretty quickly. We were about a little over a week away from tech, and so we had a certain amount of time in rehearsal together. And then, I mean, literally, like in the middle of it, before a lot of Inslee's mandates came down, we're kind of in a room together, and every hour or so we're checking in, right? How is everyone? How are we doing? And then literally a day later, it all crashed around the same time. I kind of just said, it's absolutely unethical for us to keep meeting. And aside from it being unethical, impossible, because not just for quarantine's sake, but I think for people's mental sake, at least I feel very half-brained lately, a little disconnected, like I can't quite make thoughts come together. So once we switched over to this, basically, I reached out to actors. I said, here is a cue script. Just record your lines as if you're together.
Yeah.
And we got lucky that we had so much time rehearsing.
Yeah. Right.
Because a lot of the character work had been laid out. Now, unfortunately, this is not the entirety of our original cast. So I took on some vocals, and Amy Wang, thank you so much, is also lovely and jumped in to take on a character as well. So different levels of amount of time in the work, and also not really an opportunity once we went digital to work together. And these three have been great because their process has been coming together more, right? And they worked really well together, and it's so beautiful. And my process was basically a process of letting go, of knowing less every day, because I can't do what they do, and because this is not a kind of directing I ever imagined I would be doing. I imagine like a lot of people, this is really hard for me. It's really hard for me to not be able to connect in ways that I'm familiar with. So being able to trust other people who were able to jump forward on
Yeah.
this project made it, I think, is the most foundational thing that made it
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, but I think it was integral in terms of like, you know, we're having those mixing sessions and stuff. And you were right there though with those and giving good feedback. Cause like we're kind of our tool, we are like sort of tools in, like in the machine sort of thing. And like we can do the things,
Cogs
you know
in
what
the
I mean?
machine.
Yeah. We're just cogs in the machine, man. And like, you know, but having your feedback was so helpful. And you caught a lot of things that maybe like we wouldn't catch. Cause I think for me at least, I'm listening to like the audio quality, maybe like, you know, I'm like, oh, is it like that? You know, there's something at that frequency or something, you know, and like, that's, I think a lot of us are doing that, although we are all very creatively minded. But so having you there, like, I don't think we could have done it without you taking the time to do that as well, which is, you know, sort of like extra time, I guess. But
That's great.
yeah,
Honestly,
it was awesome.
As far as horrible situations go, this was a gift that we got.
It was so fun doing a stupid horse song. Well, it's not stupid.
No.
At all. Very serious horse theme. But yeah. So any other, let's see.
Does anyone else have something to say?
Compression and voices. Oh, I see. Chris already answered that in the chat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can speak to that a little bit more too if anybody's really interested in the nitty gritty of what that was. But yeah, we had a varied amount of different background sound and noises from everybody, and kind of the process. I do a lot of audio forensic kind of stuff, where basically it's like high detail cleaning up of audio and trying to like look through waveforms and get rid of like stuff that is not necessary. So I used spectral noise reduction, which is really cool, where you take a sample of all of the noise in the room. Basically you have I asked every actor before they started recording to record 10 seconds of blank space up top. And the reason for 10 seconds is sometimes you like shift around or like there's an extra little noise, but you can get that good, like, you know, second and a half or so of just pure sound of the room. You sample that and then you're able to kind of like remove all of that noise. That was a lot of the cleanup. Then there was some EQ. The whole mix is compressed pretty well because we had I did the whole project kind of the same way that you would do film. So I had a dialogue, music, and sound effects kind of in their own little folder setup. And so each one of these things kind of like compressed and reacted with each other in certain ways. So yeah. Nice thing is now that this is all set up, working on future projects is with this piece is going to be really easy because a lot of the work has already been
done. I came up with a few questions. I got one for Josh. Josh, who's did the sound effects. So you already had your whole list of the sounds you wanted in the play. What changes in a radio drama live streamed versus how you would like choose music and effects for the stage?
Great question. So not a lot has changed actually in the process. As soon as the quarantine happened, Grace and I had a good meeting on talking about, what kind of sounds do we want here? We talked about if we wanted to include more sound effects from the original draft that I created. I had like a whole spreadsheet of all the sounds that I was going to incorporate into the show. We had to remove a couple because then like if people don't see what's happening on stage, then some of the sounds wouldn't make sense anymore. Like one of the examples is when you have a patron coughing into the car wash. There is supposed to be spit all over the ground. And so we thought like not too long ago, really, if we wanted to include spit shots or if we would just wanted to leave the coughing as like, oh, the spit is coming from the cough. So that was kind of like how we discussed those small little things. Even entrances, we were thinking about if I wanted to add people coming into the soundscape, but then a little bit of that was also like, it might have been too distracting from the lines if we just had too many things going on. So we just wanted to focus only on the lines. Aside from that, it's been pretty similar work because I've worked on film and I haven't really worked on audio drama, but I kind of figured like, well, okay, I'm just going to pretend I'm working on a film that I'm just going to put in sounds here. Does it make sense here? And now for like to make up for the sounds that aren't on the space, I will try to create those now. Yeah. Oh, and I guess with that was coming up for the soundscape for scene 2. Fun fact, I was the person dying. So, and that was pretty interesting to create. I had to really bring out the actor's hat and I was like, okay, I have to pretend I'm dying now and struggle with a pillow. So that was pretty fun. Yeah. Hope that answers the question.
When I got Josh's audio, we were having questions about do we want to incorporate other actors and some other struggling sounds in there? And I listened back and I'm like, no, Josh, this is perfect. This is going in exactly like it is. It was amazing.
I was quite worried about that. And I was like, oh gosh, do we have people in cast who are doing this too? Or am I going to scream into the mic? So, but I was really glad that people liked it. So I thought, okay, yes, we're leaving it in.
We got a question on Facebook from Elan Robinson. Did somebody on your team have experience with live streaming before, and what's the experience been like, and what tools have been helpful? I had a little bit of live streaming experience. I used to work at I did a couple of contract gigs at a place that does live streaming of educational content during the daytime. I did an audio gig there, and so kind of got to learn a little bit more about what professional live streams are like. And then I kind of got interested in the idea of like live streaming myself and playing video games. I've also live streamed editing video. I did a live music video or a live concert for Aaron J. Shea, who's a local artist and amazing person and friend of Annex and has worked on many of our shows. But I did his album taping for Apocalypse Songs, and I just edited it live in front of people so they could kind of see the process to basically like kind of help the Kickstarter campaign for it. So yeah, I use a lot of combination of tools since I work on Mac. I use Open Broadcast software, which is an open source kind of like TV studio essentially. That's how I've been controlling the feed this whole time. And which had some issues because not everything was configured as well as I would have liked. So some of the audio stuff got switched around, which I just fixed while we were watching the video. I use a software called Loopback to do internal routing between different programs to like send the audio where I want it to go. We are using, unfortunately at this moment, Zoom conferencing is pretty much the best way to get this multi-chat kind of stuff going on. We're going to try and use Skype pretty soon here, but there's a couple of bugs that I'm trying to work out. Those are kind of all the main tools. We also use Restream.io so we can send our video feed out to all of the different outlets, so YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all at the same time. That's kind of the primary stuff that we do, and other than that, like I work in Pro Tools and Isotope and Premiere for all of the other kind of putting the stuff together. Although all of the text, I'm pretty proud of that. All of the text that we did for the kind of the live subtitles and also something to look at while you're listening to the audio, that was all in Keynote. I just copied and pasted the text in there, added the paragraph effect with the typewriter, and then I just played the audio back and then forwarded through each time. So I recorded that, exported it to video. There we go. It was a lot easier than making a whole bunch of slides and putting it into Premiere. Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, Chris. Anyone else have anything they want to share about this process? Where we've gone so far? Oh, Grace. Yes.
Hey. Mostly, again, just want to reiterate how grateful I am to anyone and everyone who's worked on this. It's had a lot of hands on it and a lot of love. And I'm really excited to see you all in the chat. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, it was a blast.
It was great.
I was just
Had a lot of
sitting in my
fun.
room playing music and just laughing and having a good time. And it actually I really brought my spirits up.
Yeah.
Honestly, just working on this show has like giving me a focus and, like I'm unemployed right now. I got laid off from my job. So like I had all the time in the world to do this. And it was just it was awesome working with working with everybody, sort of being like, we can still make really cool things happen. Even like, they're technologically sort of more advanced than it would have been, I guess, in some ways.
And I mean, some days are easier than others. Some days having to do anything at all feels impossible. And some days having a goal is the only thing that reminds me to get up.
Yeah.
And we stream again to answer. I saw a question go through here again next Saturday at 7:30 for the next chapter. Thank you. I also love my mustache. And we'll be here every Saturday until we're done. And we'll have other people speaking on the project as well. So other folks who've had hands on it will sort of chime in. And with that, I pass it back to Chris, Josh, Max, if any of you have anything.
I'm good. I felt really good. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun working with everybody. Had such a blast.
I'll throw out the Patreon again, patreon.com/annextheater. I'm really stoked about that because I feel like it's a great way for us to we have a lot of Annex fans, and think it's a really cool thing these days to kind of treat you all like patrons in the same way patron would for any kind of YouTube person. We want to get you behind the scenes and feel like a company member, so you can see all the cool shit that we're doing. So definitely I highly recommend joining that. You can also get the same thing as A-List, essentially. A-List comes as a feature with some of the things, and if people don't know A-List, when we get back into the theater, it's basically like Netflix for live theater at Annex. So you can come and see a show every month. It's totally great, but that's kind of included with your patron. That also has the behind the scenes stuff. Sorry. Yeah. We love you all and thank you for supporting us because, stuff is hard, but we have a lot of fans and friends with Annex that it feels like we're going to do okay because we have so many great people who care about us. And it's really heartwarming when you put a lot of work and effort into that old building on Capitol Hill and then people actually give a shit. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Mm-hmm. Thanks to all our supporters. Thanks for watching tonight. Tune in next week, this time, 7:30. Yeah. And until then, I don't know. Have a nice night. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Love you all. Have a